It is time for the love talk of the day. It's 11 minutes past the hour on this marvelous Monday. And today I want to talk about the power of submitting to one another. I know that that's not something that we talk about a lot, but in Ephesians 5:21, it says submitting to one another out of reverence for Christ. If your relationship, if you stood at an altar and asked God to bless your relationship, then submitting to your relationship is literally submitting to Christ, to his design for what relationship is. You can't submit to your spouse and to other people. Well, I understand there's people who've tried to define marriage how they want to and how they feel, and I'm gonna invite other we married and in this FOMA or other people in this relationship just to spice it up. There is something beautiful about the union between two people that understand each other, that speak the same language, that understand when you're in pain and speak to that, that challenge you to be better. And that's what I love about my relationship with my husband. Is that we grew to that. We didn't always have that initially, but we knew that relationship, that marriage is not a sprint. It was a long journey, and it's going to take time to get there. And what we've learned about each other is because not only do we submit to each other, but we submit to Christ. A lot of you, who may be married and maybe your spouse isn't all that they're going to become. And so you're spending more time judging them as opposed to submitting to them and loving them in a way that allows them to grow to become their best self. He was not who he is now. Warryn was not, and neither was I. I wasn't the same girl who I am 17 years later as I was when we first got married. But as we put God in the center of it and made it through the communication issues, the trust issues, the ego issues, putting work in front of our love, which was, a bad problem for us. Once we learned to keep God in the center, it all changed. So I don't know what your situation is. I'm just telling you what worked for me. And what always works is putting God in the center. God's design for love works. I'm telling you it does. But it requires you to not lean so heavily on culture's definition of what it is. You ain't gonna do this, and you can't do this, and she can't do this, and she can't. You have to let go of culture's mentality, embrace God's design for love and relationship, which doesn't include fear, which doesn't include intimidation or bullying someone into being what you want them to be, but kindness and patience and communication that allows you to have a beautiful relationship. I'm 17 years in, wouldn't change anything for the world. That's my love talk. Just wanted to share that with y'all. Learn to communicate and put God in the center of everything. All right, there it is there, my love talk for today.